I love you, Abraham. And I thank you for your teachings because they have led me down many journeys and roads to where I am now. And I just got to take a breather because it's powerful up here to be with you. I have a couple of questions. And my first question is, why do we attract accidents? Or why do we attract things like poison ivy on my face?
Because you offer vibrations without knowing you're doing it. You're a sloppy thinker.
Okay. I continue, and I could be, I walked out of my sister's house.
Now you see, you're doing it now. You're practicing the vibration of what you don't want and making it more likely that that thought will come more easily again. In other words, you don't have to explain. If something good's happening, we all want to hear it. If something not so good is happening, we don't want to be a sounding board that keeps you in the vibrational offering of something unwanted. Isn't that rude of us? It is. It's rude of us. It's rude of us because, well, we care more about your frequency than we do the subject.
Okay. So what about somebody that's wanting healing? They can't hear and they want healing. And I encourage them, think positive thoughts, visualize yourself feeling better, find a better feeling place.
And we get it. The thing that is so interesting, when you have a vibration going on and you sustain it for a while, that vibration is going to become more. Law of attraction insists on it until eventually there will be a manifestation. By the time there's a manifestation, there's a lot of momentum. Our favorite momentum story, stand at the top of the hill with your car in San Francisco. Decide that you will test momentum. Nudge it from behind. Brakes off, it's out of gear. Nudge it from behind and watch it slowly begin to move. And then come to your senses and realize you don't want to test momentum because your logic tells you what's going to happen. So you just step right out in front of the car and you let it bump up against you, but you stop the momentum because it's easy in the early subtle stages. But if you're standing at the base of the hill trying to stop that momentum,
right,
it's a problem. So after something is manifested, right, you've got a lot of momentum going. And the thing that we so want you to hear in light of what we're talking about here in the middle of this step 4 is you cannot discuss the problem at hand and stay on the high-flying disc. You just can't wake up and think about that without giving up the frequency of what you want. So our favorite story, Abraham, I've jumped out of an airplane. I don't have a parachute. What do you think I should do now? And we say, hang on, it'll be over in a little bit. Because. So now we're not saying that everything is like that, but we're saying your normal human spontaneous response to things is to get hold of the problem and wrestle it to the ground and kill it. And there's an easier way of going about it. And that easier way is to try not to think about it. But by the time something has occurred that is manifested that you really don't want, now it's not just not thinking about it. You got to stop thinking about whatever it is that caused it to begin with. In other words, you got to sort of get back to the beginning of it. But there's no ending and there's really no beginning. There's only now. So we would suggest just distracting yourself from it. If you distract yourself from it long enough that you can genuinely feel well-being will be yours.
Now, what if someone's born with a hearing impairment and they can't hear and they've never know how to hear? They've never experienced it.
Then they didn't see it as an impairment. They did it on purpose because they wanted a different vantage point than others have. And it's only the others who seek conformity and sameness from everybody that are calling it a deformity. It's just a different approach.
But if they stay in frustration, how do we encourage them to feel what it would feel like to hear if they've never heard before?
Well, there are several things that you're asking in this that we want to sort of smooth out here. First of all, your assumption is that it's better for them to hear. Now, we get why you think that. If you'd been listening to the man singing in Esther's room this morning, you would have not thought that. So we're going to say it again because it's hard to hear. Just because someone is born different than most of you are doesn't mean they made a mistake, and it doesn't mean that conforming to what you've got is the answer to all their dreams coming true. You go to a lot of trouble being born the way you're born. In other words, that's not even true. It's not trouble, but you come deliberately. You come deliberately, you see. And there's something very aligning about not listening to all the chatter in the world. Someone who is not listening to all the chatter in the world has the potential of focusing in a more powerful way. You see, we don't want to get into the details because all these details do is cause defensiveness from anyone who thinks that it should be another way. Sure. We just want you to accept that just because it's different doesn't mean something's gone wrong. And the next thing is, you can never help anybody get to a place that they want to be or that you want them to be if you think that where they are is in the wrong place.
But what if they think so and they choose to be a victim to that?
Then, if you're thinking a lot about them, then you're joining them on the victim disc. Okay. And you're not helping them and they're not helping you.
Right. I get that.
So what is it that makes you so tenacious about figuring out what to do about something that you can't do anything about without sacrificing your own alignment? That's really what this discussion is about. And we know this would upend a lot of people around the planet. Abraham, are you kidding? Aren't I supposed to help everybody? And we say, yes, but you can't do it from less than the high-flying disc. I know, but they've got a problem that I need to talk with you about. And in order to talk about their problem, I have to get on a lower disc. That's fine, get on a lower disc, but don't ask us how you can help them because you can't help them if you're on a lower disc.
Gotcha.
You got to accept them as whole and perfect as they are before you can be of any value to them whatsoever. And humans, you're speaking to something that is so big and so important because most humans really believe that things should be a certain way. So they put things in piles. These are good piles, and these are bad piles, and these are not so good piles, and these are better piles, and these are worse piles, and there's piles, and let's just examine the piles. And we say, let's not. Because what you're doing by examining manifestational piles is you're letting the pile cause you to choose your disc. So there's a not good pile. We need to do something about it. All right, get on this disc and try. How's it going? Not so good. My life's going pretty much like this pile. Law of attraction says it must. Yeah, but if I get up here on this disc, I feel like I'm betraying that pile. I feel like I'm turning my back on it. I feel like I'm denying, or I feel like I'm not doing the work. I'm supposed to be an uplifter, and here I am up here, and here they are down there. Shouldn't I go down and help them? We say, go ahead. Try it. All right, I'm down here now. How's it going? Well, it sucks. I hate it down here. Will somebody else up there come down and help us? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Now there's a lot of us down here. How's it going? How's it going? Not too good. And we sure hate those guys up there. They should all come down here with us. They should come down here with us. And humans keep coming down. Source doesn't. Man keeps wanting to feel good. But you gotta find something that allows it, and then you gotta practice it, and then you gotta practice it so well that you own it, and then everything that matches that comes to you. And the way you help other people know it is not by coming down with them, but by staying up there.
Thank you.
And after a while, you begin to see the beauty in whatever it is they've chosen, because nobody's doing anything wrong. There isn't any wrong in any of this. They're just different choices, you see. A long time after Jerry made his transition, Esther could only see it as wrong because from her point of view, everything about it was wrong. Right. Wasn't wrong from his point of view. It's exactly what he intended. He was right on track, right on path. It was exactly what he wanted. Damn him. How dare you choose your path? I want to assign you to my path. You get to feel as good as you decide to feel, you see. And when you accept that it is your decision and you practice it, then now you've got your shock absorbers. Now when someone's complaining, you don't fall with them. But they don't hear you either. And that's the thing. That's what's caused so many of you to try to go where you can be heard. It's the biggest epiphany of Esther's recent experience. She realizes how futile it is to get someone who's standing in a different vibrational place to understand her. And that it's not worth the sacrifice to be heard, you see. Stay where you are, know what you are, know what you want, know how you want to feel that way, practice it, and allow them to join you if they want to. And the nice thing about this is, you hang around up here, people are not all down here, you're all over the place. Most people are up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, depending upon what they're focused upon. They aren't steady because they're letting the pile that they're focused upon determine what disc they're on. Well, when you become one who isn't letting the pile that you're focused upon determine what disc you're on, but you're choosing the disc which brings the piles, now what you begin to discover is that in your steady consistently, those that are up and down and up and down and up and down are occasionally up and they'll hear you. They're up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, but they're occasionally up and they'll hear you. They're up and down and up and down and up and down and up and down, but they're occasionally up and they'll hear you. So now you have the possibility of influencing them to something that's more steady, if you're steady. And now we'll just say one last thing about this. Your inner being never joins you in your discomfort, always maintains this high-flying frequency. And that is the reason that you feel emotions at all. If your inner being would join you wherever you are, you just feel the same, because the emotion that you feel is the vibrational indicator that lets you know the difference between the frequencies within you. Everything you feel is about your split or your not split energy. And that's the thing that Esther is raving about to anyone who will hear. My split energy is all but gone. I don't have split energy about anything. I don't have split energy. And then she went into her kitchen and she saw on her beautiful marble counter a nick. A significant nick that the housekeeper did. Oh, man. Oh, man. It can't be repaired. It's right in front of the sink. I can't get my eyes off of it. Oh, man. And then she thought, are you kidding me? There must be 50 yards of perfect border around this kitchen and 1 millimeter of a nick. Oh, man. Oh, man. We know this sounds ridiculous, but it's how you are. So many things that just don't need to matter, that you make matter and use as your excuse to pick a disc that doesn't serve you. When if you just pick the disc that serves you, everything would come into alignment. And even that nick is helpful to Esther because she has this thing going on that says, nobody can do it the way I like to do it except me, which makes me busier than I want to be. You must now leave. You have nicked my counter. Which means I will vacuum this great big place by myself. And I will dust it. I will do...
Is that Jerry?
You get the point. This is a really good time for a segment of refreshment.
Thank you. Thank you.